Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I just got back home. It's Saturday, July, I think today is at 13th? Oops, let me see. Oh my gosh, it's the 17th. Sorry, yes, it's Saturday, July 17th. I just got back home. I'm very excited about this video. I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently, and I was really thinking that wouldn't it be great to share with you guys an update on how trying change is coming along, the good, the bad, the ugly. They always say that it's messy in the beginning, and boy, is it messy. So in this video today, I'm excited to share with you guys an update, trying change, and how that journey is coming along. I also realized in my first video, I shared what I would be changing, but I didn't really expound on why I am trying to change my life. And so I'm excited to talk about that as well. But first, let's get something to eat.
You are responsible for your life. And if you're sitting around waiting on somebody to save you, to fix you, to even help you, you are wasting your time, because only you have the power to take responsibility to move your life forward. And the sooner you get that, the sooner your life gets into gear.
So I am having vegan burger. Well, it's not really, like, it's a very small slither and a salad. I guess that's what you eat when it's like 10:37 now. But you want to make sure you eat something before bed. Also get some energy to walk you guys through the update and the reason why I'm changing my life now. So let's get into it. But first,
what matters is now, this moment, and your willingness to see this moment for what it is, accept it, forgive the past, take responsibility, and move forward.
Okay, story time. For those of you guys who don't know this, I am an avid storyteller. So welcome to my first storytelling video. Why did I decide that I wanted to change my life? So just to give you guys a backstory, 9 years ago, I left Kenya to come to the United States. So this year in May is actually 9 years. And when I came, I didn't really have a vision of where I'd like to take my life 9 years later. And I reflect back now, and I'm always asking myself, like, oh my gosh, you know, if I had a vision, where would I have been, or what would I have done? When you come to the US as an immigrant, especially, your first idea is to come and survive. And so I left Kenya having done my undergrad and studied finance, and I wanted to do communications. I felt like that's where my strength was. But then when I got here, out of fear, I decided to do something I was great at, but not something that I was passionate. So I ended up doing economics for grad school as opposed to doing communications. And that was coming from the fact that I have an accent. You'd call it I have an accent here. So every time I would say something, people would be like, oh, where are you from? And at that time, I interpreted it wrongly. I felt that they were being biased against me. Why is everyone asking me about my accent? What I didn't realize is my accent does make me stand out. And so there is that curiosity by people like, oh, you know, where are you from? And so one, I made an important decision, such as going to grad school, out of fear. So that was the first point where I was not being true and authentic to myself. And then as life went on, I was just drifting. I'm very fortunate that somehow, even though I got a job, I found myself doing communication, but I was just drifting through life. Good thing is I was always doing my best, and by doing my best and excelling, I kept on climbing the corporate ladder. But then somehow I started to realize I was a very creative person. No one told me this. I had signs, a little bit of signs when I was younger. My creativity was prominent, but then you're young, you don't really think much about it. And so as I started growing older, I started realizing that I'm a very creative person, but I'm not using my creativity, I'm not using my passion, I'm not using my talents. And slowly I also realized like fear had become a new normal. You fear something and then you don't end up doing it. So all of a sudden, flash forward. Kizungo. Not flash forward, it's fast forward. Okay, shakes. Okay, so fast forward 9 years later, And I wake up and I realize, like, Mary, you have gone up the corporate ladder, you have a great life, what would be considered great, but are you truly fulfilled? And I realized that it's as though you've been climbing a ladder and then you got to the top and then you realize that your ladder was facing the wrong direction. And so that's really why I decided, one, I had to come down that ladder, and then two, I had to figure out which direction should my ladder be facing. And when I say my ladder, I mean whether it's my career, whether it's the choices that I'm making. I felt like slowly fear had become a new normal. I see fear and I want to just go the opposite side. And so I just really realized that I wanted to, for the first time, forget about the limitations of time, forget about the limitations of people's expectation, forget about the things that I thought would have happened that I feel like I regret about, like forget about all that, and then just try to be that little young girl, the one who was a dreamer, the one who was always creative, the one who was bubbly, and the one who was always herself, always curious, always asking questions, always telling stories. Be that person. And so that's what I decided. Part of that reason as well was, for me, growing up in Kenya, the idea is you start school, nursery, and then you go to primary school, and then you go to secondary school. After secondary, it's college. Then after college, maybe you'll probably end up getting a job. But then after that, it's somewhat expected that it's like marriage, kids. That's what people are expecting. But what happens when you go to nursery, you go to primary, you go to secondary, you go to college, you get a job, and you're not married, you don't have kids? What happens? What's the story of that person? Is that person supposed to just sit and be sad, sit and weep, sit and feel like their life is not complete? And so that was my journey. I was like, look, I'm single. Hello, holla at your girl. but I thought to myself, you know what? I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but at the same time, I have to enjoy my life. I have to be able to feel fulfilled. I have to be able to figure out what are my passions and how can I live my best life now, whether there's someone or not. And so looking at those two things, just really realizing that on one end, my ladder was facing the wrong wall when it came to my career choices and my life choices, but at the same time just realizing like, oh wow, you're not married, you don't have kids, but who says you can't enjoy life? Who says that your life is not complete? Because of what? No. So I decided I was going to change my life. And I was just going to have fun, enjoy this short life that we have on this earth, pursue my passions, be free, be happy, fall in love, dance, and just pursue everything that my heart desires and just forget about the limitations of time and keep it going. So that's just the backstory about why I decided I wanted to change my life. I will say, in people's opinion, I do pretty much have a fairly decent, good life. I would say I've been successful in many areas, but that is measuring it based on people's perspective on what success and fulfillment is. But for me, fulfillment is here and my state of being and how whatever I achieve makes me feel. And that's what I wanted to change. I wanted to make sure that from this moment, the next 9 years are by far fulfilling, joyful, present. And so that's why I decided to change my life. There you have it. Next question. What have I done so far? How is change coming along? Okay, so this is interesting. Change is messy in the beginning, and boy, is it messy. Just because you've decided to change your life doesn't mean that all of a sudden you've broken off old habits, the old routines, the old fears that are there. But this is what starts happening. you become very aware when it happens. To mean that I can find myself worrying and being like, girl, what are you thinking about? I'm like, Mary, is that you? Is that you? What are you thinking about, girl? Stop. And so to be able to be very conscious, oh my gosh, that has been one of the best things that has come up, because I'm like, how long am I gonna be in this state? 90 seconds. After 90 seconds, I'm like, enough. I am not going to suffer in my mind. No way. And so it's like, when you realize you are doing something that you want to stop doing, you can either keep doing it, which sometimes happens because you're still in that old habit, or you'd have to really dig deep and do it differently. I've also come to realize that just because I decided to change my life doesn't mean that those around me are changing their lives as well. And so it's been a bit interesting for me to do things differently around the same people. Fortunately, they are aware about this journey, and so it doesn't catch them by surprise, but it doesn't necessarily mean that just because I am doing it, that they are also prioritizing a change in their lives as well. So for me, it's more so understanding that this is my journey, that I have to own it, that I have to be the one to make a priority. And my friends are there to help me when I reach out, but ideally, they also have other things in their life that they're doing. And so this is a personal journey, and it's up to me to reach out for help when I need it. What's been really great for me has been my approach to fear. So I got a life coach about, I think it's a month now. Shout out to my life coach, Jeff Pewer. Thank you for the good job. I will leave his details down below. I decided to get a life coach back in Kenya just because I felt like coming from Kenya, getting a coach from there will mean getting someone who can understand my cultural background, someone who can understand my limitations and where I'm struggling with. So anyway, back to the point. Wait, what was I saying? I'm lost now. Yeah, this happens a lot, by the way. Okay, I've remembered. I'm also going through this change at a period in time when I have a life coach. And so having to meet with my life coach weekly has really helped me kind of sort of stay on the path that I want to stay. And so this past 1 month has been really trying to rewire my brain, rewire how I do things, in most areas, especially in my approach towards fear, in my approach towards authenticity. I've had a breakthrough. Where I'm still struggling a lot is when it comes to my habits and routines. That's still been a struggle. And I think what I'm trying to really do right now is just identify what causes me to do some things and how can I break that trigger so that I can create a new habit and routine. What do I want to continue doing, and what can I do better? Be very determined in the journey of change. Excuse me. Okay, excuse me. Okay, sorry. Let me continue. In the journey of trying to change your life, trying something new, it's very easy at the beginning to feel discouraged. And it's very important for me to remember that change is messy, but to remain very determined and very confident and very focused. I do hope to continue learning the areas that I really want to improve and being very intentional to understand these areas by learning from people who are great in the areas I'm trying to change. Now it's really about setting goals, right? Like my first month, which is this month, I didn't necessarily have any goal. For the month, my goal was really to just start. And looking back, very fortunately, this is the month that I decided that I was going to start my YouTube. This was the month that I got a life coach. This was the month that I've really made a lot of progress in being me, being my authentic self in every area of my life. And now I know it is truly, really possible. I've seen a shift in how I think, my mindset, my perspective whenever things are not going my way, and just how to keep myself having those happy, good thoughts. So it's really to build on that and now use that to work for my life. And so as I now begin my second month of change, One, I really do want to create my vision, and I should be done with it by the end of next week. And so the goal is to come up with a vision, to come up with new goals, to come up with new routines. And honestly, if I can achieve just those three things, a vision, written goals, and new routines for month 2, then I'm good. Okay guys, so there you have it. Excited to actually make sure that every single month I come here and I share with you guys the latest updates and just have this candid conversations. Oh my gosh, this is a candid one for sure. If you've not subscribed to my channel, can you just stop for a second? Hold up, stop for a second. You are watching this video, so why don't you just hit the like button? I mean, you've watched the video, hit the like button. Okay, that. Wait a second. Are you seeing it? Oh, I think it's a fly. How did it enter my house? Did I leave my windows open? It's actually a fly, guys. Okay, until next time, guys, like, subscribe, share. Thank you.